did or did?
We already know, brother.
We got
we're pro-life.
Yeah, but this is about the church, which of course you're a part of, and how the church is, throughout history, has been guilty, like with slavery, and now with the pro-life issue. Like the #1 cause of death among Christians even is still abortion. And look at this. Check that out. Open that. Look at that. Here's an abortion clinic, and here's all the churches here. And not only that, but there's about 3 people that go to this clinic to try to talk women out of it, let alone all the other stuff. Because we all have a moral opinion, but very few Christian men do anything to help bring about an end of abortion. Like some of them say, well, I vote pro-life. But look who they vote for. They vote for Romney, a Mormon. It's like the lesser of 2 evils, right?
Well, yeah,
so,
but we're kind of forced into the structure, right?
Not really. Well, if you want to take faith out of it.
If you take 2012 as an example, right?
Yeah.
I mean, we started out supporting Rick Perry,
right.
And later it was what's his name? The guy from Pennsylvania. What's his name?
But you ended up voting for Romney, right?
Well, that's what I'm saying. It's a process. You end up there. You're either going to stay home and not vote at all, or you're going to vote against Barack Hussein Obama.
Right.
And I was voting against Barack Hussein Obama.
And I was exactly like you. Okay.
And
I totally.
I'm with you on it.
But we have faith, right?
Yeah.
And so even if we vote for someone we know can't win, at least that gives room for faith in God to actually bless us, because it's God who lifts us up or tears us down. But when we actually say, my vote, I'm voting for an antichrist to lead this country, I don't think that's biblical. That's compromising. If you vote between the lesser of 2 evils, you're always going to have evil. And nowhere in the Bible does it say that. It says things like, unto death, be righteous. It says things like that. And the Bible also talks about how there's been communities, of God's people, where God even says, I hate your worship because you raise your hands to worship me, but you don't lift a finger to do anything. There's child sacrifice in your midst, and no time in the history of Christendom have we killed more babies than now. I mean, more babies every year die from abortion in America than every single war America's ever fought in, ever.
No, there's 200,000 a year, so just in Planned Parenthood alone, and they're getting like $500 million in our tax dollars. So I mean, like
$500,000 a year total.
But kind of take a step back though, because the central premise seems to be, if I'm understanding what you're saying to me right, a vote for the lesser of 2 evils is still a vote for evil.
Right.
I agree with you in principle, but in practical reality,
right,
when you go through the primary process and the establishment, whoever it is, weeds out all of your candidates, and at the end of and on election day, right, because November's coming here regardless, whether Rick Santorum or Rick Perry or Michelle Bachmann or whoever else.
You're being pragmatic though.
Yeah, but you kind of have to be because
if you're going to go follow a world system, but if you're going to follow God's system, because we want God to intervene, we want God to give us candidates. See, what happens is all us Christian men just lay down because the GOP knows that all they have to do is provide somebody that's a little bit better than the other guy, a little less evil, and we'll vote for him. Can you imagine if no Christians voted for a Republican?
Well, I mean, you almost had that with Romney, right? You had a huge evangelical base that basically stayed home. I mean, doing what you're advocating for.
Right.
They basically stayed home, and now we have a second term of Barack Hussein Obama, who's, I mean, in my opinion, it's just my opinion, but the guy seems to be anti-Israel, pro-Muslim, pro-abortion, anti-Christian. I mean, his terrorist training manuals have the United States military looking at right-wing veteran Christians as the potential terrorist suspects.
Well, what does the Bible say?
It
says we get the leaders that we deserve.
Yeah, well.
Okay, that's what we get.
When half the evangelical base stays home, we got the leader that we deserve.
Well, that or votes for Antichrist as a president.
Yeah.
He's an Antichrist. He's actually a leader in the Mormon church. He actually owned or invested in the company that burns the babies after they're taken from the abortion clinics.
Are you filming?
Yes, we film always. So
you do that in case they're messing with you?
Yeah, because what happens is
we've seen a lot of the videos online.
Yeah.
You know what I find most interesting is the tolerance preaching left are the most hateful, bigoted, intolerant people. I mean, I see these videos all the time coming from college campuses, right, where they're supposed to be preaching, high-minded diversity and all this other stuff, and you see people
crazy.
You see the guy in Chicago? doing pretty much what y'all are doing. I mean, just advocating on the street corner, right? And this woman comes up and starts screaming. I don't mean like, you know, we're having a pretty decent debate here, but I mean, she's screaming at him, just hate-filled, screeching at him. Talking about he doesn't have a uterus, he doesn't have any right to talk about abortion and all that.
Yeah, actually, I know him.
He ends up breaking the signs.
Talking about Chicago.
Assaulting the guy, and it's like...
What's our guy in Chicago? Yeah, Ryan.
I already have one, sweetie.
You know, that guy, Ryan, he used to be a Satanist.
Oh, yeah?
And God touched him, changed his heart, and, you know, he's a like full-on fire, evangelical, you know, street preacher. Oh, and then God called him into this, you know. So, yeah, that's Ryan. We have 50 abolitionist societies around the United States. 3 years ago, we had none.
Really?
So it's catching on. And what happens is every age has its evil, and God, every age raises up abolitionists to fight it. So we're like William Lloyd Garrison or Wilberforce, you know. It's all about the gospel. Like the pro-life movement is completely Christian, but they're completely compromising. I call them the American Christian, who like looks at everything on face and just does the best they can, even if it's bad. But it's the best they can, you know, instead of having like a gospel faith where it talks about how you do what's right even unto death, you know. So anyway, 3 years ago, we didn't have any abolitionist societies, all right? Now we got 50 around the United States, and they're all about the gospel, because the pro-life movement says don't bring up God because you don't want to debate on two bases. Where we say the gospel is the light that'll save the world, you know, we're supposed to be the light. So we bring on a full gospel message to everything, including politics, you know, like we should never give what we possess away to something evil, you know, to do good. The Bible even says that, don't do evil so good may come. And we do that, and we do that because it's very pragmatic.
Videoplayback.